I don't know about you guys, but I personally have a problem with the current UFC pound for pound ranking, and I plan to fix that. So today I'm going to make my own pound for pound rankings, which is the correct, real pound for pound rankings that are legitimate and that aren't popularity contests, because that's basically what these are right now. I would just want to go through them, and then I'm going to give my own personal pound for pound rankings. So obviously you have Islam, you have Taporia, Hamzat, Islam number one, Taporia number two, Chimaev number three, Pereira number four, Volk number five, Yan number six, Aspinall seven, Marab number eight, Pantoja number nine, Holloway number 10, Van number 11, Drickus 12, Magomedov 13, JDM 14, and then Sarukian 15. I don't know. These guys are so quick to put people up there, and then when they lose, Ankalaev, JDM, Sarukian hasn't lost yet, but he never got, hasn't had a belt, hasn't really beaten anybody besides Oliveira. Like, if you think about it. And then Chimaev just beat Dricus du Plessis and hasn't fought since. Fought in August, I think. June, July, August. Yeah, August. I just don't know. So that's why I'm going to give my own personal pound for pound rankings. Let's start the real pound for pound rankings by me, by the numbers. Let's start with number 15. I'm going to go up the list from 15 to number 1. I even, took some people off, added some people I think are more deserving on here. Just gave, I made it right, in my opinion. I think this is the official, correct way to do pound for pound rankings. So let's start. Of course, let's just overview what I think pound for pound rankings is. This is how well your resume stacks up with the division, your division, that can transfer all across the sport. How well your wins are, how dominant you've been, kind of. That's kind of like the second criteria. And then, of course, how well your opponents have been doing recently. Have they fallen off? Are they in the UFC? All this good stuff. Okay? So let's start. Sorry, my hat's going crazy. Let's start with number 15. I'm sorry to do this to you, pal, but Joshua Van's got to be number 15. Alright? Just having a belt doesn't mean, oh, you're going to be top of the rankings now. You're not going to be number 11 now. I think he's number 15. He's beating Pantoja, kinda. You'll see where I put Pantoja later. It's just, who else has he beaten besides Pantoja? Royval's a really good win, but I don't know how much I rate that. Or I do rate it. That's a really good one, but besides Royval, I'm not going to count the Pantoja win. I don't think that should count as an official. Like, I'm good with them giving him a win and giving him the belt, because that kind of builds up a story for Pantoja's return, or if Joshua Van wins. Realistically, them making it so he wins this way builds the story even better for the Pantoja rematch if he beats Taira in the meantime. But he's beaten Royval, built Bruno Silva, beat... Who did he beat before Bruno Silva? Tetsuro Taira. Before that, Cody Durden, and then before that, someone else, and he's been knocked out by Charles Johnson. And being knocked out and losing, losing does not make you get flung off the pound for pound list, in my opinion. I feel like good fighters that challenge themselves should lose, in my personal opinion. And also losing to someone who's really good, like Charles Johnson is really good, dude. Really good. So I don't really discredit Van for losing to Charles Johnson. I just don't think he has the resume. He's really young, 16-2. I think you need to build up. Pound for pound is about hard work. Hard work put in, and it's fine. He started at 15, he's 23, he just got his belt. It's fine to put him at number 15 and have him work his way up. That's the point of the pound for pound rankings, that you work your way up. You don't get slingshotted up like some people. But let's keep on going. Number 14. I have Charles Oliveira. I think with his recent wins over Gamrot, who beat Arman Sarukian, right? think his win over Gamrot, he's only lost to Poirier, Arman, and Makhachev. Like, those are his last 3 losses. And the Arman was a split decision. He's beating Chandler, who's pretty good. Not the best, but, you know. He's beating Gaethje, Chandler twice, Gamrot, Dustin, even though he's on the sport. Ferguson, even though he's not on the sport. Man. But, you know, he had the 11-fight win streak, I think. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12-fight win streak. I think that counts for something. Losing to Islam Makhachev is not a bad loss. Then losing to Arman Tsarukyan in a close split decision, where it was 3 rounds and if it was 5, it could have been like if that wasn't on you. If UFC 100 had not 300 not been a thing, that would have been a main event or co-main that was 5 rounds, and we would have gotten to really see who's better. Because I think 5 rounds is a pure who's better. It shows levels. You know, 3 rounds is easy because you can kind of get away with cheating a little bit. You know, some people, when you get used to 5 rounds, it's hard to get to 3. That's different. I think in general, dominating over someone 5 rounds or getting a win over someone over 5 rounds is a lot more impressive than 3, obviously. But I think since Tsarukyan has only beaten Oliveira, Sarukyan's only beaten Hooker, he's only beaten Dariush. Oliveira's also beaten Dariush, by the way. I just think his win streak, recent wins, doing that to Gamrot after a knockout KO. You know, he's only lost to crazy good people. I rate him still high in the pound-for-pound rankings, above Joshua Van, number 14, Charles Oliveira. I think that's a fair spot. I think that's fair. All right, number 13, we got Sean Strickland. All right, dude, we got Sean Strickland, and it's because he has so many wins over, it seems like everybody, all right? Let's go over his wins. He has a win over Imavov, number 2. A close first fight over Duplessis, which I thought he won, but I won't count that. But the first fight with Duplessis was very close. Has a win over Brennan Allen, number 5. Number 6, Adesanya. Number 13, Costa. Who else does he have a win over? He has like some weird wins. Abbas Magomedov. Jack Hermanson he has a win over. Let me remove this grappling thing. Lost to Jared Cannonier. Not the best look, but he's only lost to Duplessis, Cannonier, which I thought he won, but the way he fights, I can see how you score that for Cannonier, and Pereira. Those are his last 4 losses. Duplessis twice, Cannonier, Pereira. Okay? Beat Uriah Hall, Jack Marshall, Court McGee. A lot of wins. His record in the UFC is 16-7. He is 29-7 overall. All right. I think the wins, the consistency. Like I said, he's only lost to Duplessis, Pereira, and Cannonier. Which did he really? Again, I'm going to count that as a loss, but not bad of a loss. I think also losing depends on how well, depending on how you lose, kind of helps your pound-for-pound rankings. Did you get destroyed? Do you make a close fight? The rematch with Duplessis doesn't help his case. That's why he's so low. That's why he's below Duplessis. Because he has more wins than Duplessis, you know. But I think Duplessis getting the belt and getting more defenses is a lot better. Because I think title defenses are like another level of pound-for-pound ranking criteria. Okay? Strickland number 13. I think that's a very fair decision. I think that's very fair. Okay? On to number 12. We got Tom Aspinall. All right, this was hard to put him here. I like Aspinall, but I know he's beaten. He cleared out the division. He defends against Shogun. He's already beaten Volkov, Pavlovich, Blades, Spivak, Tybura, and Tybura. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's already beaten 5 people in the top 15. 5 people in the top 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if he beats Gon, it'll be 6. Just in the top 10 alone. The only thing that's holding him back is he has no title defenses. He has lost, but those losses don't really count. He just really hasn't fought that good a competition. Volkov that he beat was kind of like a very impressive win. The Blades he beat, very impressive. He defended his interim belt. I'm going to count that as a defense already. He already has a title defense. I just think, and the way he's won is total domination, true. I just don't think I can rate his wins too well, considering the division isn't the healthiest. It's really a lot of blobs. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry. A lot of blobs. I can't rank you that high. I can't rank you that high. I think he beats Gone. You kind of propel yourself up to like the 6th region. Aspinall beats Gone, gets one more defense, then he's going to be in top 5, you know? Beats Gone, he'll probably be, in my opinion, number 8. Beats someone else, say he defends against a Volkov Volkov's off a win over the Blades rematch, or Blades in the Volkov. You can't really do the Blades trilogy. Can't really. You do the Volkov rematch, hopefully. Or you do like a Waldo Cortez Acosta fight. He beats them, then he'll be like number 4. But right now he's number 12. He's got to work his way up. He doesn't have too many crazy good wins that you look back and say, how'd he beat that guy? That guy was a monster. Even though he's demolishing them, which is why I think you could put him a little bit higher, but I'm going to put him at number 12 because the people ahead of him have put so much more work in, except for a couple. But let's go up. Number 11. We got Evloev. I don't know why Evloev isn't on the current pound-for-pound rankings. I know he hasn't had a belt, but listen to this. Evloev has beaten, undefeated, he's beaten Aljamain Sterling, who I was going to put on this list. If he didn't lose to Evloev, I would have put him on this list. He's basically taken Aljamain Sterling's spot. Really good bantamweight, really good win for Evloev. He's beaten Arnold Allen. I know these are close decisions that he's gone to, only decisions. But I think winning decisions consistently is a lot tougher than knocking people out. To impressive, but some people just don't have the power. You know, if you're blessed with knockout power, knocking them out consistently is impressive. But I think for someone who wasn't really blessed with knockout power, who's been doing it off of pure grappling, I think this is impressive, you know. 9 wins in the UFC, all by decision. He's beaten Sterling, Allen, Lopez, Ige, and then Dadu, Lance, Grundy, and then Enrique Barloza, Singwoo Choi, who actually, Singwoo Choi, I think, is the guy who Kevin Vallejos beat. Am I wrong? Is that guy Vallejos knocked out? Going on a little bit of a... He is. He's a guy who got knocked out by Vallejos and then Steve Garcia back-to-back. Oh, both in round 1. But I think Evloev has a really good little resume he has built for himself. Lopez one's aged really well. The Aljamain Sterling one could age really well. He just beat T-City, Brian Ortega. He beat Dan Ige, decent win. Beat Sterling. I already said Sterling. Who else did he beat? Oh, Arnold Allen. Decent win. Pretty good win. I think he's got a really good resume, really good chance. I think he should be number 11 on the pound for pounds. He's beaten a lot of people in his decision, and some are close, like the Allen was close. He lost a point, Allen did. So that's why he won, like the Lopez fight. You could see, you know, it was short notice, and he beat Lopez. And then, like, he doesn't fight too often. But I think he's worked hard enough where he's earned his spot, number 11. You know, I think just beating Sterling alone is such a good win. And then you have the Lopez one. And then you have the Arnold Allen one. They just add up. So I'm going to put Lopez at number 11 on the pound-for-pound rankings. I think that's fair. That's a fair spot. I think that's a fair spot. Number 11. All right. Top 10, we got Dricus du Plessis. All right. Dricus du Plessis. I think these are... I got hard in like this middle area to pick and choose. But I think du Plessis having 2 title defenses, 1 over being Adesanya, who looked really good. 2 over Strickland, that's really good. He beat Whitaker, really good. Hasn't aged the best Whitaker has, but he still somewhat has it. Beat Derek Brunson, beat Darren Hill, beat Brad Tavares. Trevin Giles isn't the worst win to get over someone. And he was undefeated in the UFC until he came across Chimaev. And even though, you know, he lost to Chimaev, he did not make Chimaev look like a world beater that you thought he'd look like. You know, you were choosing Du Plessis to either survive and then knock him out in the 4th or 5th, or Chimaev to just run through him because he's a world beater. He made Chimaev have to hold him in a crucifix. I know it was crucifix, but he made Chimaev have to hold him in crucifix for 25 minutes doing nothing. Not the worst win ever. I think his title defenses add up. I think if he beat Chimaev, he would have been the GOAT middleweight. I don't care about Silva. I don't care about Weidman. He beat Silva, or he beat Chimaev. He would have been the GOAT of middleweight right then and there. He was number 6 when he lost to Chimaev. Probably would have been number 4. Yeah. Probably would have been number 4 if he beat Chimaev, or number 2. I think he's got a lot of good wins. He's, the Strickland rematch was domination. Submitted Adesanya, first person to submit Adesanya. Even though he hasn't really gone against grapplers, so, but really impressive. He's got a good takedown defense out of Adesanya. But, I think he's number 10. I think he's a good number 10. He's worked his way. The defenses, the way he's won, TK Robert Whittaker. I think he's done a lot of work. I think he's put it in. I think he deserves... Ooh, am I a little too loud? I hope not. There we go. How about that? I think that's a little bit better. Sorry about that if I was killing your ears. But I'll put him at number 10. Alright, number 9. We got Max Holloway. Blessed Express, baby. Listen. He's number 9. I don't know. What do they have him right now, officially? What do they have him number 9? They have him number 10. Officially. I've added and dropped some people. I think number 9 is a really good place for Max Holloway. His only losses are to Topuria, Volkanovski 3 times, and then Dustin earlier in his career. And then a Conor McGregor earlier in his career. And then a split decision to Dennis Bermudez. And then another loss to Poirier for the lightweight title on short notice. Alright. Besides that, he has beaten Andre Fili early. He's beaten Cub Swanson early, Oliveira early. I know the win was weird, but he still beat him. Jeremy Stevens beat him. Ricardo Lamas beat him. Jose Aldo beat him for the belt, for the interim. Jose Aldo, or Pettis for the interim belt. Aldo for the belt. Defended against Aldo the second time. Beat up on Brian Ortega, and then lost to Holloway or Poirier for the lightweight belt. Then beat Frankie Edgar for his 4th defense, and then lost to Volk. And then after losing to Volk 2 times in a row, the second being a split decision, he then whooped on Calvin Kattar, whooped on Yair, got another title shot, lost to Volk, then beat Alan Chang Seng Yang, which is Korean Zombie, Justin Gaethje, and then lost to Lee Poirier, and then beat Justin Poirier. He's the first person to defend the Bantam or the BMF belt. Which, you gotta give that something. He had 4 defenses at featherweight. Beat Jose Aldo in his prime. Only lost to Volkanovski, Topuria, McGregor, and Dustin. And then a split decision loss against Dennis Bermudez. Besides that, insane work from a very young age. You've seen him throughout the years. He's evolved with the sport. Put on crazy shows. Gave to Topuria a really tough fight. He was struggling to find that knockout blow until he did in the 3rd. Or was it 4th? It was 3rd. Last couple minutes of the 3rd. Nope. First couple minutes of the 3rd. And then whooped up on Poirier in his retirement fight, but he looked really good. He's been looking really good at lightweight. Looking really good. I think he'll beat Oliveira. I think number 9 is a perfect spot for Holloway. He's put in his work. He deserves it. He's number 9, If he didn't come across Volk, he would have been the featherweight GOAT, Volk, if you just wipe Volk from existence, I don't know who would beat him at featherweight besides Topuria. And even then, if Holloway was on that crazy streak at the time, say he doesn't come across Volk. So He just beats Calvin Kattar for his 5th defense. He beats Yair for his 6th defense. He beats Allen for his 7th. Korean Zombie for his 8th. And then he goes up for the lightweight title one more time and maybe loses. Still, he'd be crazy. He'd have a crazy resume. 27-8. Good work put in. I'm putting him at number 9. I love him, you know? Favorite fighter. So he's number 9, dude. You can't tell me otherwise. Number 8, we got Khamzat Chimaev. Now, originally, I had Chimaev below Holloway. I just did. And I still think you could swap these two. I think Holloway could be number 8. He could be over Chimaev. Because who has Chimaev beaten? Duplessis' a good one. Whitaker's a good win, but not recently he hasn't, you know. I know he's beaten these guys undefeated. He beat Usman. A majority decision over Usman is crazy. Crazy work. The Kevin Holland win. Had a war with Gilbert Burns. Beat Li Zhenglang. Gerald Meerschaert. Reese McKee. I just don't rate his wins too much. I mean, I know they're dominant. I saw some people saying like, dude, you're telling me right now Chimaev doesn't wipe out his whole division? Well, you need a fight to figure that out, don't you? You need to actually fight and do something. If you just say, well, this guy would destroy his whole division, put him at number 3 pound for pound, dude. You have to show that you can wipe out your whole division by wiping out your whole division somehow. I don't know. That's a crazy take for some reason. I don't think he's number 3 pound for pound when he just got his belt. Just beat Dricus du Plessis over a lame decision. I know it was impressive how he did it, but in terms of dominance, that was not dominant. That was very safe, controlled. I don't want to take any risk grappling. If you watch my video, watch my What Happened to Dominant Grappling in MMA and the UFC video. That's a very good video I did. Very good video. Bit of a Trump impression for you. Sorry about that. I'm on my phone during work. I should be ashamed. I just don't think his wins. I can't say Robert Whitaker. The Robert Whitaker win hasn't aged the best. The Usman win, I don't think I rate it. It was a day's notice off the couch, up a weight class Usman, who gave him a war. The Burns war, you know. I just don't rate it. I don't know why you would put him so high up. He's number 8. He's putting good work. He's dominant. He's crazy. I'm hyped to see if he can go back to what he used to do, where he just dominated and took someone out and out-grappled them and submitted them quick. I'd love that. He beats Chimaev. I'll put him at like number 5 or number 4. But right now, I don't think he's shown enough for me to be. He's number 3, dude. Number 3. I don't know who beats him, because I can see Strickland beating him. Y'all ain't ready for that, but Strickland, dude, he's going to whoop this guy's butt, alright? He's going to take that belt and put it to his butt, dude, alright? Give him a whooping. That's my number 8, Khamzat Chimaev. I think that's a fair spot for him. Hasn't put too much work in. You know, also, switching divisions, I think going up divisions is only good for pound wise. Even though he was only winning, so never mind. I won't bring it up. I just don't. I like for someone to start the division and dominate their division, and then go up or something. And then he had the weight cut disadvantage, so him starting in that division is weird to me. I don't know. I'm kind of saying weird stuff. Let me just move on. To number 7, we got Petr Yan. But Petr Yan, insane resume right now. Let's go over this, right? He's 20-5. He's beaten Merab, McGee, Figueiredo, Song Yadong in his last 4. He's only lost to O'Malley, Sterling, and Merab. Not bad wins at all. Lost to Sterling twice. I'm not going to count that DQ as a legitimate win, because I think with pound-for-pound rankings, you kind of have to be extra. You have to give some extra thought, extra analysis to their losses, to their wins, how they won. And I think losing by DQ when you're... If he was losing that fight and he DQ'd and he lost, no one would care. It's that he was dominating that fight. He lost, which would probably make him timid for losing the belt. So he had to beat Sandhagen to get that one belt over Sandhagen. Yeah, because I guess Sterling, it was like an interim belt with Sandhagen, and then he lost to Sterling. Another split decision over Sterling. Lost a split decision to O'Malley. Was injured 50-45 by Merab. But besides that, he's beaten Jose Aldo at bantamweight, which was pretty good. He beat John Dodson, beat Uriah Faber, Magomedov. That's actually a pretty good win. That's a crazy good win, beating Magomedov at ACB. He also lost to Magomedov by split decision, so he got it back. But I just think his losses and his wins, has he really lost? It's kind of the thing that you have to think with Yan. The Aljamain Sterling, he lost. But the first fight, did he really lose that first fight? You know, that DQ, do you really think he lost that? Do you really think he lost the O'Malley fight? I haven't seen it, so I'll need to rewatch it. From what I've heard and from what I've kind of looked at the stats. And then he lost to Merab, but he just kind of redeemed that. 50-45 Merab after he got 50-45. And I just think he's kind of small for the division. He has not the best knockout power, and he's still putting in work. He's a cyborg. You can tell he's so technically skilled in every single level. He's just good. He's just good overall. I think number 7's a perfect spot for him. Where do the UFC have him right now, officially? I think he's number 6. Yeah, he's number 6 right now. I think number 7, I think he beats, because he doesn't have the Umar one. It's kind of what's holding him back. He needs like an up-and-comer, new guy to beat, which is going to be the Umar one. I think if he defends against Umar, number 3 or something. Number 3 if he beats Umar. And then he gets the O'Malley win. He's like number 2 or number 1, honestly. Maybe not number 1. Islam's put in a lot of work. Bit of a spoiler, but how do you not give Islam number 1? Probably number 2 if he beats O'Malley. But I don't know. I think if he does the Merab rematch, Umar defense, O'Malley defense, you put him at number 1. I don't care. Maybe you have him tied. But I think number 7's a good spot for Yan, you know. Beating Merab's really good. You know, he's already beaten a lot of people in the division. He's already beat Figueiredo. He's already beat McGee. He beat Song Yadong. A lot of wins in the division. Let's see, how many wins does he have in the division over like the top guys? So he has a win with Merab, but I won't count that. Actually, I'll count. He has a win over 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people in the top 10 already. And the O'Malley fight, you can count that as 5 if you want. I'll let you count that as 5 if you really want. You really got to be scrutinized. These wins and losses have to be scrutinized enough where you got to, like, really analyze them and see what they count as. Because this is legacy, you know? It's legacy. Ooh, can y'all see that? Okay. Yeah, okay. It's really good. It's really legacy. So, you know. I'm going to put him at number 7, all right? Number 6, Merab, dude. Merab, I think losing to Yan is not a bad loss, dude. Using to land to Yan in the past 15 years is not a bad loss at all. So I don't see it dropping his stock too much. I think if he loses to Yan again, that's when he's going to be like number 12. That's what he was going to be like number 12. But if he beat Yan, he would have been number 2 pound for pound over Ilya, in my opinion. Number 2 pound for pound over Ilya. He gets 2 more defenses. He's number 1 over Islam. And he was fighting, you know, fast enough where he would have leapfrogged Ilya or Islam just off of activity, because Islam fights twice a year. Takes no damage in January and then waits out. Kind of sits on his butt. You know, cool. You know, it's cool. It's fine. He's really good, so he can do it. But Merab has win over O'Malley. Win over Umar is kind of like really carrying this. He has a win over Cejudo, which is a really good win looking back. He has a win over... who else does he have a win over? Sandhagen. Man, I'm forgetting his record. Let me look at his record. Sandhagen, O'Malley twice. That's what it is. He has a win over O'Malley twice. Peter Yan, Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes, John Dodson. And his wins in the UFC aren't like the Ricky Simone loss is kind of a little weird if I'm being honest. And the Frankie Sanchez one, he lost a split decision. He gassed out somehow. But the Ricky Simone loss is kind of a weird loss. It's a technical guillotine choke. But he hasn't lost. He didn't lose for was it from 2018 to 2025? That's 7 years. He hadn't lost in 7 years. I think losing to a Peter Yan who looked amazing, looked like a world beater, would have beaten anybody. Whoever you put in front of him that night, Piotr Yan probably would have beaten. He probably could have put in Tom Aspinall in front of Peter Yan at UFC 323. Yan probably would have 50-45 Tom Aspinall, You put him against Islam Makhachev that night. I may take Piotr Yan to beat Islam Makhachev. Show him levels, dude. Take down defense like no other. Don't even get me started on Chimaev. Peter Yan would piece Chimaev up, dude. So I don't, hate the Yan loss. I think it's fine for him to lose to Yan. I think he's put in enough work, especially the activity that he did and how quick he did it, setting records, defending unprecedentedly when some people don't defend for forever. Chimaev got no, when Merab takes 25 minutes of damage and then still fights in a couple months. Chimaev takes 25 minutes of no damage and then has an injury and then doesn't want to fight a Mavov for some reason. I do not want to, I don't know. I just kind of don't like Chimaev. Sorry. But this is biased. I think Chimaev is number 8. Unbiasedly, I think he is just number 8 pound for pound. I'm going to put Merab at number 6, alright? Number 5, top 5, here we go. We got none other than Alexander Volkanovski. This was hard. I wanted to put number 4. I do think beating Lopez is really good. And I think if he had anyone else than Lopez in the rematch, he would have set his sights back on number 3 pound for pound. But right now, he is number 5 pound for pound. Which is fair. Which is pretty fair, I think. I think he's number 5 or 4. I think the Lopez wins aged really well. Yeah, your win has aged decent, even though, they had clash, and you can argue that. But he's only lost to Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. That's it. That's the only fights he's lost. Islam twice, Ilia Topuria. Are you going to hate on him for that? I think that's perfectly reasonable. Those are fair losses. You come across once-in-a-lifetime talent, you lose to them. And in the first fight at Islam, you arguably win. I didn't think you win, but not arguably. You lose to a very close, razor-close split decision. It wasn't even a split decision, it was a unanimous decision. You lose a really close decision, sorry. But I think the 22-fight win streak, beating Holloway 3 times is impressive. Because it's given you 3 times to lose, to get knocked out. But it's shown 3 times a level ahead of the guy who's beaten everybody else. Beat Jose Aldo. Just beat Diego Lopez. Beat Yair. Beat Ortega. Beat the Korean Zombie. Chad Mendez is a decent win. Darren Elkins. My boy Darren Elkins. Shane Young. Jeremy Kennedy. I think at the time... Not at the time. I think just his win streak alone puts him so far ahead. And losing, the knockouts don't look good, but the second Islam loss, is that really a loss? Stepped in a few days' notice after an arm surgery, got head kick KO'd. Shouldn't have been in there. I know he says he doesn't regret it, but I think he does. I think he's saying he doesn't regret it to kind of, toughen up and, toughen through it, but I think secretly he does regret it. But you can't say you regret it because it's done, it's over. You can't change that. So that's why you got to say, I don't regret it, even though you can regret choices that you've made. If you internalize it, oh, dude, I do regret that, you're going to be second-guessing yourself a lot more. I think he has to kind of force himself to be like, I don't regret it, so that he is confident, I think surviving Diego Lopez, who's so dangerous, like you saw against Gene Silva, you give Lopez an inch, he's going to take a mile. Very dangerous, aggressive, great chin. You can't put him away. I think it's really impressive for him to do that. I think he's number 5. I wanted to put him number 4. I'm putting him at number 5, alright? Because now we're in Alex. Spoiler alert, we're in the Alex trilogy right now, alright? Because guess who's next? Boom. Number 4 is Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, I think the loss over Adesanya isn't that bad, but also Adesanya has some really good legacy. I honestly could have seen Adesanya being put over Oliveira. It's just the loss streak is what's really making me not put him over up here, but you could have... No, he's lost 3 times in a row. Yeah, never mind. But he's close. He's like number 20 pound for pound in my opinion, like in that top 20 pound for pound range. Maybe like 21, 22. But other than that, Adesanya is a really good fighter. But Pereira, let's just look at this. Lost beat Ankalaev, knocked him out in the first round, 60 seconds, or 80 seconds. Lost to him before that, but he said he was sick, and he barely lost. It was a really close decision, even though he lost that decision. It was really close, and he didn't look the best, and he still made it close, alright? Had a couple hairy moments, but, that's just what happens. But besides that, beat Ankalaev, beat Roundtree, beat Yuri twice, which is crazy how he's able to put him away. Beat Jamal Hill, beat Jan Blachowicz, even though that was a split decision and was close. Jan Blachowicz is a tricky guy to beat, and he was, like Jan Blachowicz can make it close with anybody, dude. Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, Jan Blachowicz is making it close. He's tricky, dude. He's very tricky, slows it down really well, especially in his old age, This was like prime Jan Blachowicz, not prime, but that was a young pre-leg surgery, I think, Jan Blachowicz. Maybe that was post, I don't know, because I think it was prayer and then he had leg surgery. He came back against Olberg, lost against Olberg. There we go, I'm right. And Jan Blachowicz still looks good, he's still putting up a fight. I thought he beat Olberg in their fight, and I thought, the Guskov fight didn't look the best, but he still drew it. He still got it to a draw. Almost put him away in the third. Lost to Adesanya, not the best, but then he beat Adesanya, beat Strickland, Bruno Silva. But he's done this all in the space of 4 years. He got his title 3 years ago. 3 years ago he got his title. And he's already picked up defenses like that. Domination, knockouts. Shown a dominance. I think he beats Olberg. He's shown a level above in striking. Sorry, I got phlegm. Shown a level above in striking. I think it's hard to put him anywhere lower. Like I said, I could have put him at number 5 and Volk above him, but I think him only losing to Adesanya and Ankalaev, where he was, not the best at full strength against the Ankalaev in the Adesanya fight. Even though Adesanya hasn't looked that good, Adesanya is like the perfect person to beat him, Rangy just as long as him, has some power, has a good chin too. I don't know how Pereira didn't put him away. But he's also very defensively sound pretty well if, you're not a Mavov who's got really quick hands. But I think he's a really good person to put at number 4. Wait till you see what I have at number 3. But I think he's number 4. I think that's a good spot, alright? I think that's a good spot. That's fair. He's at number 4, okay? On to number 3, we got... Also, the disrespect. How quickly did they take him out of his champ? Also, real quick. They have Joshua Van in his UFC No Chase shorts for his title picture. Just want to bring that up. Strangest thing ever. They have him in his UFC No Chase shorts. I don't know whose arm even is that. Whose arm would that be? I don't know. Usman? That may be Usman's arm. I don't know. But I'm going to put Pantoja at number 3. That's not a loss. For pound, for this legacy, you can't really count that as a loss. That's a freak accident. I know Joshua Van caused it. He pushed the head kick over his head, and he posted on it. But you know, the 99 other times that this happens out of 100, we don't know what happened in that fight. It was looking competitive, not competitive, but it was looking like Pantoja wanted to put a pressure on, wanted to put a pace on, wanted him to finish him in round one. I just don't care about what you say is a loss for Pantoja. He hasn't really lost. Hasn't lost since Figueiredo. No, since Askarov. Crazy that he lost a decision to that. But he's beaten Manel Cap early. He's beaten Brandon Royval twice. Alex Perez is a good win. Brandon Moreno twice if you count the UFC or the Ultimate Fighter win. Brandon Royval, Urseg, Kaskor and Kaikar of France, not the best, but I think the consistency, 4 title defenses, and then losing to Joshua Van for a freak injury, I don't think that removes all the work that he's put in. I just don't. I don't. I think it shouldn't. I think maybe you could put him at number 5, and then you move Pereira up to number 3 and Volk to number 4. I'd be fine with that. I just put him at number 3 to, hopefully rage bait and get some views, dude. Get some views. But this is 41 minutes in, so no one's watching. But, but I think Pantoja should be number 3, dude. He's put a lot of work in, done a lot of good. If he beat Van, he would have been number 2. No, he would have been number 3 still. I don't know, it's hard. Him not being double champ and him not wanting to go up to bantamweight really puts a strain on things. It really is hard, but I think he beats Van. If he would beat Van, beat Terra, and then maybe beat Cap if Cap beats Royval, even though I think Royval's going to win tomorrow. I don't know. You can start having those talks. He's about to be a flyweight GOAT. I think being a GOAT of your sport, a GOAT of your division, adds a lot. Like, Pereira is the GOAT light heavyweight of the sport. I don't care. I don't care. He just is. Volkanovski's the GOAT featherweight, You have Max... Except for there's a special guy above Pantoja who you can kind of get away with not being the GOAT of the sport. All right. And that's none other than number 2, Ilia Topuria. All right. It's hard to not put him at number 2, He's knocking out everybody. Consistent, undefeated. 2-division champion. First person to ever knock out Max Holloway. Made Charles Oliveira look easy. Knocked out Volkanovski, even though you can say... And he kind of ducked the Volkanovski rematch. Kind of ducked him in Miami. Kind of ducked Volkanovski in Miami. But I think the consistency and the level and the composure that you've seen in the cage and the skill set that you've seen puts him at number 2. And for just how confident he seems in the cage. I know that's not something that really goes to this criteria, but in my mind, he's the most confident man in that cage, He always bets on himself, he gambles on himself, so he goes for the finish. I think Topuria's the perfect number 2 pound for pound. Hasn't lost him forever. What is he? 9-0 in the UFC. 9-0. Josh Emmett's demolished him. Bryce Mitchell choked him out. Jai Herbert, even though he had that rough moment, knocked him out. Zalal is a good win looking back at it. Really good win. The Ryan Hall. Who does that to Ryan Hall? Damon Jackson, who does that to Ryan Hall? I just think the consistency is a huge part of pound for pound, how consistent you can be at the higher levels. And, everyone that he's beaten has bounced back. Volkanovski got the belt back. Holloway got beat Dustin to defend his BMF belt, Not to really defend, but But he looked good against Dustin. Oliveira whooped up on Gamrot. Mitchell beat Tagir. No, he beat... I always get Tagir and Said Nurmagomedov mixed up. Mitchell beat... No, he beat Kron Gracie, actually. He beat Kron Gracie. Josh Emmett, his wins are still there. They're still in, Meanwhile, Islam's wins, even though they are good, they don't instantly bounce back. But his wins, somehow Topuria just has like the knockout blessing, where if he knocks you out, you've gotten better. Dude, Topuria shares skills by knocking people out or submitting them. You just get better after facing Topuria. That's how good he is. He levels you up just from facing him and losing to him. But I think he's a good number 2 pound for pound. Consistency, 2-division champion. No defenses really hinders this. Actually, he has a defense against Holloway at featherweight, but has no he's on a defense right now. He needs to defend his belt. But I think he defends against Sarukian, gets the interim back, and then defends against Sarukian. Then you can start having that conversation, because Islam, he never fought Sarukian. Sarukian pulled out, not his fault. But I don't know. It depends on how long he goes for. I didn't see Ilya fighting like 3 more times, but you can tell he's special. Even if you hate him and you don't like him, you can tell just the strength that he has and the power that he has and just the skill set that he has is something special. So I'm going to put him at number 2 pound for pound. He's also very young, like 27 or something. Very young. Like just about to reach his prime. Let's hope the divorce does not ruin this. Please, Georgina, do not ruin this with the divorce, alright? Please. But moving on, number 1 pound for pound. It's got to be Islam. Who else is it going to be? Islam Makhachev, put him work, 2-division champion, crazy win streak, 16-fight win streak, I think. He's tied with Anderson Silva. Merab lost his. He's still on his. He's beating Volkanovski, the first Volkanovski win, even though it was really close. A very impressive win. Volkanovski's a tricky customer. He's a shady buyer. He's a unorthodox UPS driver. I don't know. What do you want to call it? Volkanovski's tricky. He's hard. He's good everywhere. He's in your face. He's a ball of muscle, has no neck, hard to choke out. So you're kind of forced to, kind of make do with what you will. Moicano, subbing him around is impressive. The Dustin fight, even though he was getting tagged up and, he got that cut, he showed toughness. Subbed him. Even though I don't think Dustin should have gotten that title shot. He got knocked out by Gaethje and then beat BSD and got a title shot. But the JDM fight, coming up and showing. Again, if you watch my What Happened in Dominant Grappling and the UFC video, showed very safe grappling. Not dominant. If it was dominant, he would have ground and pound TKO'd him or submitted him. But very safe grappling. Very impressive, skillful grappling. Not dominant, though, in my opinion. Beat Armin Young in his career. Beat Oliveira. Very good win, Oliveira. Beat a 22 or 13-something fight win streak from Oliveira. Beat Volk's 22-fight win streak. Beat JDM's 18-fight win streak. He's a win streak destroyer. He's shown, levels. He's very good. His striking's getting better. Very good low kicks. Very good game planning and very smart in the cage. Great IQ. I think he's just very good. Very good. It's hard to, it's hard to not realize his accomplishments and the work he's put in, which is why I think he's the pound for pound number 1. All right, that's my list. That's the official real pound for pound list that I think is correct. I think this is unbiased. I think this is the best way to do it. I don't know why UFC has theirs like this. Why is Ankalaev on the pound for pound list? Why is Armin on the pound for pound list? Who has he beaten? Who has Ankalaev and Armin beaten besides Pereira and Oliveira? I don't know. I'm going to just recap it one more time. Number 1, we got Islam. Number 2, we got Topuria. 3, we got Pantoja. 4, Alex Pereira. 5, Alexander Volkanovski. 6, Merab. 7, Yan. 8, Chimaev. 9, Holloway. 10, Duplessis. 11, Evloev. 12, Aspinall. 13, Strickland. 14, Oliveira. And 15, Joshua Van. Alright. That's my official. Boom. That's the real pound for pound rankings that I think should be legalized and should be recognized as the real pound for pound rankings for the UFC, because I think it's the right way to do it. Man, I did another 50-minute banger, dude. I'm the only one watching these, but I'm enjoying myself, alright? I'm just giving myself audiobooks to listen to during work, if you think about it like that. But, subscribe and like, and then comment. Comment who you think's number one. Comment if you think I put someone crazy on here, which I don't think I did. I think I made some pretty logical choices for my pound for pound rankings. But yeah, don't be funny, make some money. Buy the numbers. See you, bye.